airport, holding her luggage firmly in her hand. She checked the time every minute, waiting for the Uber she ordered. She wanted to surprise her best friend with her sudden return. It had been 5 years since she left the country. She missed this place so much. It's just that this place is filled with painful memories. Memories that she didn't wish to remember again. It's not easy for her. The painful memories brought tears to her eyes whenever she remembered. Her eyes welled up with tears, and she fought back the tears threatening to fall from her eyes. She cleaned her eyes with her hand and forced out a smile. She will be happy now that she's back in the country. She will let the memories die, but it's not easy. Her grandmother's face appeared in her mind, and she felt inexplicable pain surging through her heart. She fought back her tears and rechecked the time. "Mommy!" Aurora heard an adorable tiny voice behind her, and she turned around. She was surprised to see a cute little boy. The boy seemed to be 4 years old. She couldn't help but fall in love with the boy immediately. He had a pretty face. Aurora was sure girls would be chasing the boy around once he came of age. She's also drawn to his face. But she felt unexplainable joy when the little guy called her Mummy. Her heart was suddenly beating for no reason. "Mummy, why are you silent? Don't you want little Cherry?" The little boy, as she blinked her eyes cutely. His voice was laced with sadness. His words pulled Aurora out of her thoughts. She felt a heart-wrenching pain when she saw the little boy's sad face. She just felt a strong bond with the kid. She pulled her closer for comfort. "Pretty boy, how are you? What are you doing here alone in this crowded place? Where is your mummy?" Aurora asked. Her face was plastered with a smile. The boy smiled brightly when Aurora called her pretty boy, and he blushed slightly. A frown broke on his adorable face when Aurora asked who his mummy was. "Of course you are my mummy, and I don't have any other mummy except you," Clayton said. There was a little whine in his voice. Aurora nodded in understanding. She could guess the little boy was only bluffing because he was young. She dipped her hand into her bag and fished out her phone. "Can you give me your father's number then, or do you know his name so we could look for him? It's unsafe for you to be alone in this crowded place." Clayton's eyes turned teary immediately, and they burst into tears. "Wah, Mummy doesn't like a little Cherry. I tried so much to find you, but now that I found you, you are pushing me away. I'm so sad, Aurora." She had to pull the boy into her embrace and console him. "Stop crying, baby. I like you, and I would love to adopt you, but I don't know if your parents were alive or not. Describe what your father or your mother looks like. We will look for them, but if we can't find them, I will take you to the police station." Clayton gripped Aurora's clothes tightly when she mentioned the police station. "Please take me home, Mommy. I'm hungry and I want to eat homemade food," he said, and buried his face on Aurora's chest. Aurora sighed helplessly. She carried the boy in her arms and held her luggage with the other hand. The Uber driver soon arrived, and Aurora dragged her luggage to the car. The Uber driver helped her with her luggage, which she gladly gave to him. She entered the vehicle with Clayton in her arms. Clayton clung to her neck like glue, afraid she would disappear if he let go of her. The car soon stopped in front of Aurora's apartment. She got off and paid the Uber driver. She put down Clayton and carried her luggage out of the vehicle. "Mummy, it isn't that heavy. You can just hire a bodyguard to help you with that. Let me carry it," Clayton said, and extended his little hand to carry the luggage. Aurora couldn't help but laugh. She put down the luggage and ruffled Clayton's well-styled hair. "You are so adorable. I want you to be a son. I want to have a child like you." Her eyes were beaming with joy. "Don't worry, Mummy. I'm already your son, so you don't need a son like me anymore. I will always protect you, and no one will be able to bully you," he said proudly. Aurora couldn't help but smile. She liked everything about this kid. "I have a secret. You are the only one I wanted to tell this to." Clayton pulled the hem of Aurora's dress, signaling her to bend down. "I have a supernatural power. I'm like Batman. I'm powerful and smart," Clayton whispered to Aurora's ear, and she burst into laughter. The little guy makes her day. "Wow, that's great. I would love to witness your power one day," Aurora said with a smile. She took out her phone and punched some strings on her phone. "Let Aunt call her friend. I just returned to the country, so I don't have foodstuffs at home. My friend will buy some groceries on her way." Meanwhile, in Fashion Fizz, Dylan's assistant Andrew barged in immediately. He was sweating profusely and panic was written all over his face. He was breathing heavily and he ran all the way here. "How dare you barge in?" Dylan said coldly and glared at Andrew. I just heard from Leo. He said they can't find the young master, Andrew said, trying his best not to stammer. The temperature in the room suddenly dropped so low just as the word rolled off Andrew's tongue. He could feel the coldness and shivered slightly. What did you just say? Dylan said coldly. His voice was calm, but one could tell it was subdued before the storm. Dylan's voice carried a hint of danger. This alone makes Andrew scared for his life even more. Answer me, Dylan growled. Andrew shook uncontrollably. He couldn't utter a word, yet he couldn't keep it shut either. Dylan has a bad temper. He might kill him if he doesn't talk, and it's not safe for him if he chooses to speak. His body shook uncontrollably. They all know Dylan doted on his son so much and would go to any length to make him happy. Leo said. They couldn't find him. Andrew's voice shook. He was already peeing in his pants. You couldn't find him and still came here to tell me. Are you tired of your life? I guess so, Dylan said coldly. Andrew knows everything has ended for him. He will die today for sure. It's better to kill himself than to get killed by Dylan. He will suffer a fate more terrible than death. The thing is, just as the plane landed, young master got down and we wanted to carry the luggage when we look back. Young master is nowhere to be seen, Andrew stuttered. He quickly went on his knees and bowed his head repeatedly. I deserve to die, boss. Dylan suddenly let out a cold laugh. His laughter made Andrew's body cringe. His laughter was creepy, and one could tell nothing good would come out of that laugh. I will kill you. No, not only you, but all of you. How could a 4-year-old kid disappear when tons of bodyguards were there? You are all useless. But before I kill you all, you must provide my son. His cold voice echoed through the room. Get me the footage of the airport now, Dylan barked, and Andrew ran out of the office immediately. All the bodyguards were kneeling in front of Dylan's office. No one wanted to face Dylan's wrath. Andrew Sue returned with a laptop in his hand. Tell those fools to enter, Dylan said coldly as he pointed at the door. Okay, sir, Andrew said, and left the office. He soon returned with tons of bodyguards. They were all dressed in black suits. Leo, the leader of the bodyguards, kept his gaze low. No one dared to talk. Play the footage for me, Dylan said as he adjusted his tie. Clayton could be spotted with a lady. Dylan couldn't hear their conversation but saw how the girl carried Clayton away. The camera only captured the girl back, and they didn't see her face. Dylan was very furious. He was exuding a chilly aura, and everyone could feel it. Dylan was silent for a while. Everyone held their breath, waiting for what Dylan would say next. I don't know how you find this girl. What matters is that you must bring my son to me or else. Dylan paused and his eyes scanned everyone in the room. Just go and write your will for now, because you might end up dying any moment from now, he said coldly. His cold voice sent a shiver down everybody's spine. He is the actual definition of the devil. He looks like the king of hell, in Aurora apartment. Aurora looked around, and painful memories flooded her mind. The house was neat, just like it was before. She set her clothes in the wardrobe. The doorbell rings, signaling to her that Emily is here. Clayton jumped up excitedly when he heard the doorbell ring. Yay, Mummy! Your friend is here. I can't wait to eat the food made by Mummy. I bet it will be tasty, just like how beautiful you are, he said. His eyes were beaming with joy. Aurora smiled and patted his head. She made her way to the door and opened it. A look of shock crossed Emily's eyes when she saw Aurora, but she quickly reacted. She threw herself in Aurora's arms immediately. Aurora almost stumbled but was quick to maintain her balance. I miss you so much, baby. You were kidding when you said I should come to your house. I can't believe it's real. You've become more beautiful. I could hardly recognize you, Emily said excitedly as she hugged Aurora even more. Let go of Mummy this instant. Did you want to choke her to death? She would have fallen when you hugged her. But thankfully, Mummy is quite strong, Clayton said as he pulled the hem of Emily's dress, trying to pull her away from Aurora. Emily was surprised when she heard a kid's voice in the house, but was surprised when she saw Clayton. Wow, who is this kid? You are so cute. Her eyes suddenly widened, and she turned to Aurora and pointed her finger at her. This cutie just called you Mummy. Don't tell me you got married without telling me. Aurora laughed. Don't mind him, and he isn't my child. I found him at the airport. I think he lost his way home, so I took him here. You know it's unsafe to leave a child in a crowded place, Aurora explained, and Emily nodded. She turned her attention to Clayton and bent down. Wow, you are so cute. I think I've fallen in love with you. I can abduct you. I would love to have an adorable son like you, Emily said with a smile. She was serious about seizing Clayton. Clayton pouted her lips and hugged Aurora's leg. I already have a mummy, so I don't need another mommy. Don't worry. I will marry you when I grow up. You are also beautiful. I would have married Mummy instead, but Mummy can only marry my daddy so that I would marry you, he said seriously. Your nanny is lying to you, and I pity the poor phone. Don't believe your nanny's words next time, okay? Emily said, and Clayton nodded. Aurora left